Hi everyone, I'm Jackie Somerville. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm giving a speech about how to manifest the impossible. Is there something that you really want? Perhaps something you really need? Is it a spectacular lover, like the perfect partner? How about financial riches, your dream house, your dream car? Whatever it is, listen up, this is for you. It's called If Wishes Were Horses, How to Realize Your Wildest Dreams the Simple Way. What would you say if you saw a children's bicycle leaning up against the wall in a suburban garage and you witnessed a little 6-year-old girl stroking the bicycle, talking lovingly to it, and feeding it hay? You might well say, well, that kid has lost her mind, and you might be right. But today, I am going to tell you the true story of how that little girl turned that bicycle into a living, breathing pony by losing her mind and quite simply following her heart's desires. And I'm going to show you how you can use the exact same principle to manifest the most extraordinary things in your own life, including your wildest dreams, out of nothing, out of right where you are right now, without hustle and grind, just with conviction. And I want you to listen to this story knowing that it's 100% true, and knowing that this little girl that we're talking about went on to use the exact same principles as an adult to manifest dream homes around the world, great love, and millions of dollars. This is by no means an isolated incident, but this story truly does hold the key to it all, and I am going to explain. First of all, do you know what you want? Do you? And don't worry if you don't. Lots of people struggle with this. And I'm going to make a video really soon to help you with that if you're not sure. So now's a good time to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Because you see, it does all start with your deepest desire. You've got to know what you want. And this little girl knew she wanted a pony. She'd listened intently to stories of her grandfathers, both of whom had been farmers. And in those days, way back when, they farmed from horseback. And her family was particularly enamored with telling stories about her paternal grandfather's rather famous black gymkhana pony named Shamrock. And she was enthralled. One day, I'm going to have a pony just like Shamrock, she thought to herself. Notice, she didn't think, oh God, I don't live on a farm like my grandfather did. I live in the suburbs. My parents aren't rich. How on earth could I ever have a pony? Notice how she didn't say, I'm only a few years old, for goodness sake. I have no money, no influence, nothing. So it's not possible. No, she never said any of that. She just made a quiet statement, a declaration, and knowing one day I'm going to have a pony just like Shamrock. And when she started school at the age of 6, she had to sign up for a few extracurricular activities, and her mother insisted that she take ballet. And she was like, oh no, God, please, can't I take riding lessons instead? Her mother eventually agreed to the riding lessons, but only if she also took ballet. She hated ballet, and it showed. She failed at it. As Jim Carrey famously noted, you can fail at what you don't like, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. Oh, yes, indeed. And in riding lessons, she went all in. She threw her heart over the bar and she gave it her all with unbridled enthusiasm because she loved it. She was obsessed. Riding horses was what she was meant to do, not pirouetting around in a tutu. Before long, she was the leader in her group, always chosen as the lead horse and rider, week after week, because she was good. It's easy to get good at something you love, right? Doesn't feel like work. An opportunity arose to go to a week-long riding camp, mucking out stables, cleaning saddles and bridles, grooming and taking care of horses. And she jumped at the chance just to be around horses and found pleasure in the small things. Never once saying, what's the use? Why am I picking up horse shit? I don't even have my own horse. She knew one day I'm going to have a pony just like Shamrock. Quiet conviction. The little girl was so in love with riding that going to riding lessons once a week just was not enough for her. So she'd come home after school every day, put on her little velvet horse riding helmet, swing her leg over her bicycle, exactly as she would mount a horse, and proceeded to ride a bike in a rectangle as though she was riding in an arena. Even posting up and down in the saddle, like English riders do. Have you ever seen that? And afterwards, she'd put the bike back in the garage, petting it, talking lovingly to it, and feeding it grass. She'd walk back into the house, feeling happy and satisfied, never once saying, "What's the use? That was a waste of time. It's just a damn bike." She was happy. She felt whole, complete. She was having fun, never thinking about the fact that she didn't yet have a pony, never wondering how in the world she was ever going to get a pony, never strategizing, never focused on what was missing in her life, just simply caught up in the enjoyment of her imagination and totally in love with what was available to her. Her obsession and determination did not go unnoticed. God noticed. Call it what you will, call it life, but it noticed. And so did her parents. The divine substance from which all things are made notices what we place the most attention on, what we focus on, not on our fleeting thoughts, but on our predominant story. What do you place most of your attention on? Is it on your desire as being an already existing fact? Or is it on the lack of it? We do not get what we feel separate from. And this little girl never felt separate from her dream. She was already living it in her mind. And after about a year, her father got promoted and the family was transferred to the country. Her parents came to her with a proposal. "We've noticed how dedicated you are to horses and horse riding, and it's impressed us," they said. "At our new home, there's space for a horse, but we're not rich. So even though you're only 7 years old, you've got to make a choice. You see, we've been putting just $2 away every month for you in a bank account since the day you were born, so that you'll have some money for your education, perhaps for your first home, for a wedding, or whatever you may need it for when you're older. There is about $200 in that account right now, enough for you to buy a pony. And you can, if that's what you choose. But it means that there will be much less money there when you get older." It was a no-brainer for the kid. She did not apply logic and reason or fear of the future because she lived from the heart and had beautiful childlike faith that just like this miraculous moment was happening for her, her future was going to be taken care of too. Faith. You don't need me to tell you that she bought her pony. His name was Ginger, and just like Shamrock, he was a Star Gymkhana pony. And even after she moved on to bigger horses, Ginger remained in their family for many, many years to come. Now, here's the most important part of this story. That little girl continued to manifest horses in spectacular and the most magical ways for the next 40 years. And you know why? Because you do not get what you want in life. We get what we are convinced of. After manifesting that first pony, she just knew that she would always have horses in her life. It was a knowing, an acceptance, not a wishing, not a hoping. It's like a contract with God, a contract with the universe. When you are that convinced of something, it's like having an ironclad contract with God, and it's just a matter of time. And even for the brief periods in her life where she didn't have a horse, like when she immigrated to a new country with no job, no home, no money, she never thought that her horse life was over. Another one was on its way in divine timing. It was a given. See, it doesn't mean that we don't go through some bleak times in our lives. We all do. It's about remembering, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, that greatness is holding on to a dream regardless of circumstances. How are you doing with that? Are you managing to hold on to your dream regardless of your current circumstances? Or are you feeling very separate from it? It's really important. And it's not about clinging to your dream, desperate for it, searching for it everywhere, hustling for it, grinding for it. It's not. Those things only emphasize the lack of something. They emphasize your separateness from it. It's just a deep knowing that it's on its way. When you are that convinced of something and you don't get in the way of it with your doubts and your fears, the universe, God, the divine notices and brings it about in ways you could never, ever have fathomed. This is one of the greatest manifestation stories ever told because of the perfection with which it illustrates exactly how you can make even your wildest dreams a reality. And I know about this because that little girl is me. I manifested that pony and all the other horses, and I did go on to manifest my dream country, dream homes around the world, great love, and millions of dollars. There is a scripture that says, if you can believe, all things are possible to them that believe. And that's where the book and the movie The Secret fell short. They said you can have what you want. But here's the thing. It's not what you want. It's what you accept as a done deal with absolute conviction. That's why so many of us haven't manifested many things that we've wanted in our lives, and oftentimes we've given up. It's not that effortless manifestation doesn't work. It's that we doubt, and we've succumbed to the limitations of society, to the narrative of hard work and hustle and grind, and we get tripped up with the dreaded hows. How am I going to make this happen? That is not your concern. Not at all. One day in my 20s, after I'd moved 10,000 miles away to a new country on my own with just a suitcase and tennis racket to my name, starting a new life from scratch, I met a handsome, exciting man and fell in love. We'd only been dating a few months when he took me up to his friend's farm so that I could be around horses. And when we arrived at the farm, there was this beautiful thoroughbred ex-race horse, golden brown with a black mane and tail, all saddled up and being held by the owner. And they were surrounded by a few other people. They said, "We hear you're a rider. Jump on him and ride around." And I did. I cantered around the arena, his mane flying up in the breeze and my long brown hair flowing behind me with a big grin on my face. I mean, I was in my happy place, and I was thinking how nice of these lovely people to let me ride this gorgeous horse. I rode back to the gate where they were all standing, and I noticed how happy they all looked. And I also noticed a tray of champagne sitting there. My boyfriend said, "So what do you think of him?" And I stroked the horse's neck, and I said, "Oh my God, he's gorgeous." My boyfriend, who I'd only been dating for 3 or 4 months, handed me a glass of champagne as I sat up there in the saddle. And he said, "Well, that's really good because he's yours." Oh God. Tears welled up in my eyes, and I took in the glory of this moment and the miracle of it. And then he said, "What's more, all expenses for the horse are prepaid for the next 6 months." I have manifested great romance like that throughout my life too. Just beautiful love and romance. Not just horses and millions of dollars. And while that relationship ended a short time later, I continued to manifest horses. I mean, horses worth tens of thousands of dollars for the next 20 years, and I didn't pay for one of them. God works in mysterious ways when you have a clear intention, you guys. When you have a quiet conviction and you use the power of your imagination and pretending to feel like you already have it right now. So let's take a moment to unpack some key points from the pony story to help you manifest your dreams. Number 1. Go for what excites the heck out of you, regardless of your current situation. Your heart must rule and not your head. Close your ears to the doubts and fears of ordinary society. In Roosevelt's famous words, those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Oof, I love that. That little girl, me, never for a second thought, I live in the suburbs, I have nothing, a pony feels a little far-fetched under the circumstances. Maybe I should just try to manifest a goldfish. Oh no, I would likely have failed at manifesting a goldfish anyway. Why? Because I didn't have a burning desire for a goldfish. It didn't thrill me, so there was no conviction. Universal forces wouldn't have moved heaven and earth to bring me a goldfish. Yet that's what seems to have happened to bring me a pony. And number 2, have no plan B. I didn't think, what if the horse thing doesn't work out? Maybe I could just be happy with a dog. No plan B. Plan B means no conviction, right? You're half-hearted with plan A, so you confuse the heck out of the universe. Crystal clear, quiet conviction. And number 3, forget the dreaded hows. The words, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make this happen? Are some of the biggest stumbling blocks to manifestation known to man. I mean, how is a 6-year-old child in the suburbs without rich parents going to get a horse? A quiet, calm contract with God. Decide what you want. Know that you're going to have it. Use your imagination and your sense of play to feel like you have it right now. That's how you do it. Number 4, use props and the power of pretending. Just like she pretended that her bike was a horse. If you want to get married, you might want to wear a wedding ring at night and pretend that you already are. I manifested a spectacular 7-carat diamond ring by wearing fake ones, but feeling like they were actually real until I got the real thing. Number 5, do your best with what you have, with where you are right now. That little girl, me, didn't have a horse, but I jumped on the chance to go to riding lessons and to get really good at it. And I'm here to help you do all of that. To work with me, you will find the links in the description. My job is to keep you on track, to keep you obsessed with your vision, to keep you feeling happy and whole in the present moment and totally in love with your glorious future. Look, you guys, it's true, I've manifested some deep darkness in my life too, right? Haven't we all? Some serious struggles, and I can see looking back on how I did that. I've learned so much, and I've also realized that there's beauty in those struggles. As the great Rumi wrote, the wound is the place where the light enters you. So I've made peace with the darkness, with the ebbs and flows of life. If the tough times don't kill us, they are there for our renewal, perhaps to rebirth a dream. It's written, without vision, my people perish. So sometimes we have to go through tough times to experience the renewing of the mind, the birth of a new vision. But you gotta have a vision, and you've gotta believe with a relaxed knowing that it's yours, it's a done deal. And I know it's easy to do when things are going well, but what about when they aren't? How do you focus on what you want as a done deal when things get tough? That's why I'm here, to keep you in that high vibration, to keep you obsessed with your vision, to keep you dedicated to your dream. Because when you do that, it will come true in the most miraculous ways. You are a beautiful and powerful being, worthy of your heart's desires and perfect just as you are, made by a divine intelligence that makes no mistakes. How blessed are we that when we drop the struggle and we align with the superpower that's already all in us, we can have what we want. Your life is about to get really, really good. Get out of your own way by accepting that as an absolute fact and let divine intelligence work magic in your life. It is your time. If you've liked the video, please click the like button, share it with others, and leave me a comment. I do love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.